While the whole world was watching conflicts on land, a quiet revolution was happening in the ocean. China has done something that forever changes the balance of naval power. On November 7, 2025, they officially commissioned this. This is the Fujian, and it is a direct challenge to the American dominance that has lasted for 80 years. Today, we'll break down how China managed to create a killer of the US fleet, why this technology exists in only 2 countries on the planet, and how they solved a problem that US engineers struggled with for a decade. At first glance, it's just a big ship, but the devil, as always, is in the details. China already had 2 aircraft carriers, the Liaoning and the Shandong, but both of them are essentially modernized Soviet projects. Their main drawback is visible to the naked eye: this ski jump on the bow. This ski jump was a technological dead end. It allowed China to call itself an aircraft carrier power, but in reality, it was a fiction. Planes, like the Chinese J-15, had to take off from it under their own power. That means no heavy weaponry, no full tank of fuel. This is called a defensive aircraft carrier. Its planes could only protect the ship itself. They couldn't launch strikes deep into enemy territory. They took off with a half load and returned an hour later. It was a demonstration of the flag, not real power. The Fujian is a completely different story. It is not a copy. It is the first aircraft carrier fully designed and built in China. It is larger. With a displacement of over 80,000 tons, it has almost caught up to the American supercarriers of the Nimitz and Ford classes. It is powerful. And, most importantly, what it doesn't have. It does not have a ski jump. It has broken free from that technological trap. Instead of a ski jump, the Fujian has 3 flat launch tracks. These are catapults, but these are not the old steam catapults that America has been using since the 1950s. Steam catapults are an engineer's nightmare. They literally shoot the plane with a jolt of steam, which puts incredible wear and tear on both the airframe and the pilot. They are bulky, inefficient, and require constant maintenance. China could have copied this 50-year-old technology, but it decided to leapfrog. This is EMALS. EMALS, an Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System. Until recently, this technology was possessed only by the United States on its newest and most expensive carrier, the Gerald Ford. And you know what? Theirs didn't work. The $13 billion Ford was the laughingstock of the fleet. Its electromagnetic catapults broke down so often that the ship couldn't perform combat missions. They were too complex. And this is where it gets interesting. While the US couldn't fix its own system, China built the Fujian, and its EMALS, by all reports, works like a charm. They didn't just copy it. They took the American idea and, well, perfected it. It works, essentially, like a railgun. Instead of steam, it's pure electromagnetic force. It smoothly, but with incredible power, accelerates a multi-ton fighter jet to takeoff speed in just 3 seconds. This gives the Fujian 2 incredible advantages. First, China can now launch heavy aircraft from its deck. These are the J-35 5th-generation stealth fighters, China's answer to the F-35. And, even more importantly, the KG-600 flying radar aircraft, a flying headquarters. Previously, they simply couldn't take off from a ski jump. Now, they can. An aircraft carrier without a flying radar is blind. The Fujian can see. Second, the electromagnetic catapult allows for launching aircraft more frequently. There's no need to wait for steam to build up. It's a conveyor belt. and at the same time, it puts less wear and tear on the expensive stealth aircraft. China didn't just catch up to the US, it leapfrogged 70 years of steam catapult development and immediately implemented 21st century technology. And it seems it solved the problems that the Americans could not. So, what does all this mean for the world? For many years, the US Navy ruled the oceans unchallenged. The American 7th Fleet, based in Japan, could approach any shore and dictate its will. This was especially true for Taiwan and the South China Sea. That era is coming to an end. But the Fujian is not a lone warrior. It is merely the tip of the spear. For the last 10 years, China has been building an anti-access area denial zone. The first layer of this zone is the carrier-tiller hypersonic missiles, the DF-21 and DF-26. They are land-based and aimed at the American fleet, preventing it from getting close to China. But that was defense. The Fujian is offense. This is the second layer. It goes to sea accompanied by the newest Type 055 destroyers, ships that are by themselves more powerful than any Western equivalent. Now, under the cover of long-range missiles, this carrier group can itself lock out the American fleet. The Fujian, armed with J-35 stealth fighters, creates its own kill zone, in which the KG-600 aircraft can see everything for hundreds of kilometers. This changes the balance of power. It is a direct response to the Ford-class carriers. In essence, the Fujian is a spear aimed directly at American dominance in the Pacific. And the most frightening thing for the West? The Fujian is already not the newest ship. While it was just being commissioned in Chinese shipyards, according to satellite intelligence, work is already boiling on carrier number 4. And, according to all rumors, it will be nuclear-powered. The Fujian has one drawback. It runs on conventional fuel. It needs to be refueled. A nuclear-powered carrier doesn't need refueling for years. It has almost unlimited range. It can go to any point in the world's oceans and stay there. This will mean that China is transitioning from a regional power to a global one. The reaction was not long in coming. Japan is urgently converting its helicopter destroyers into light aircraft carriers. Australia is entering the AWACS alliance to obtain nuclear-powered submarines. The Pentagon declares that China is the #1 challenge. But the facts are stubborn. China is building its fleet at a pace the world has not seen since World War II. According to the US Navy, in the last 5 years, China has built more ships than the entire navies of Germany or India. The naval race has officially begun, and China does not intend to lose it. The future is arriving faster than we think, and the epicenter of this future is shifting to the east. To not miss the next technological breakthroughs from China that are changing our world, subscribe to Techno Dragon.